avec ce pont frontalier entre le Cameroun et le Nigeria. Les deux ministres des Travaux publics des différents pays sont représentés sur le terrain pour participer à cette cérémonie d'inauguration. Et vous imaginez que la connexion avec la Cross River n'est pas évidente, mais toujours est-il, tout se passe plutôt bien sur le terrain. D'ici quelques minutes, on aura l'inauguration matérialisée de ce projet qui unit finalement le Cameroun et le Nigeria. On va dire merci au docteur Dalvarez Ngunju qui était avec nous pour la première partie de ce programme. Il a été remplacé par Enrique Jean Atembe. Good morning, welcome.
Thanks very much, Lee. Good morning, and to all our televiewers. Good morning to Ismail, our old good friend from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. For those who don't know the history between Ismail and us, it's pretty about 2 decades now.
It is a pleasure to have you because you know the history between Cameroun and Nigeria very well. Ismaël est toujours avec nous, journaliste nigérian, founder, publisher, Niger Diaspora. Welcome again.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much.
Alors, les choses ont donc commencé du côté de la Cross River Bridge. On a vu dans les propos introductifs pour le mot de bienvenue de ce côté-là, les remerciements aux différents présidents de la République des deux pays, le président Buhari, le président du Cameroun qui a d'ailleurs sous haute instruction matérialisé cette inauguration à travers la présence du ministre des Travaux publics Emmanuel Ngannou-Djoumessi sur le terrain. Eric Jean Atembe, vous qui avez suivi l'historique de Cameroun-Nigeria, aujourd'hui matérialisé après la presqu'île de Bakassi par ce pont frontalier, en tant que journaliste, how can you appreciate this event today?
I think it is historic because it's certainly going to transform Africa. Remember that the one of the policies of the AFTA, that is to say the African Continental Free Trade Area, is to make sure that goods leave Johannesburg through the roads right up to South Africa, right up to Cairo, as the policy is. So this initiative is part of the intercontinental trans-African highways, okay, which has to leave Lagos, right down Lagos, coming through Cameroon, and moving up to Chad. So they have to open up the borders, create more corridors, so that goods and people can flow very fluently. But you know that in West Africa, I didn't follow Ismail, maybe he must have said that.
Yes.
In West Africa, it's easy circulation of goods and services. People just leave. I remember I was traveling sometime when I got to Lomé, Togo. This is just an experience to tell you how it moves very fast in the West African sub-region or sub-regional bloc. I was on board with a friend in the jet. So we're discussing, he said, no, he's going to attend a marriage ceremony and he will be there as the best man. When we got to Lomé, he could not wait for the connecting flight because it was delayed. What he did, he said, I'm leaving. He just went out, took his car, and in the next couple of 2 hours, he called me that he's in Nigeria. Okay, so it is good, but when we have good roads, of course, we always say generally that where road passes, development will follow. Goods will be channeled. Don't forget that the Kumamafe road is already very good now.
Very good.
Très bien, 151 km.
That's good. So from Enugu right to Ekok, to Mamfe, connecting to Bamenda.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will be very smooth. Now, the one thing we need now is from Bamenda to Douala.
Yeah.
Yes.
From Bamenda to Douala, because it is a terrible route. So until we connect, when we connect that route, I think we can be proud to say that, well, we have a good road network, because the road Douala, Bafoussam, Bamenda, it's the worst, I want to say one of the worst routes or route network in this country.
Maintenant que ces routes sont aménagées pour le développement justement des régions du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest pour ce qui est du Cameroun, il est temps d'accélérer véritablement cette politique de paix and security pour cette zone frontalière, justement.
Exactly, because after all said and done, if there's no security, no hope. But I believe with today's event, the government of Cameroon will do the needful to make sure that maximum security is on that road. And above all, the peace that we are all yearning for in Northwest and the Southwest region, very soon, will come back to place. So for that, just what my big brother said, that if there's a good growth, there's development. It happens to me. I traveled to Cotonou and I missed my flight. So what I do, I said, look, I cannot wait for another. I'm coming to Cameroon. So what I do, I just take a car, go to Lomé. From Lomé, I said, book me another flight. And by the time I know, I find myself in Cameroon. So today, the network, road network in West Africa country is very nice, and there's no lot of protocol. As I mentioned it earlier, that if Cameroon government can also look at that road, because what we are facing as foreigners, travel back to our home or to do businesses is not easy. Those people on the road, they see us like a second-class citizen. After you have your resident permit valid, you have your passport, and they still, harass you, intimidate you. All those is really, demoralize us in passing through that area. And again, you made mention of Bamenda and Douala. Most of people, distance between Bamenda and Douala is a huge market. But most of them come to Douala and buy their stuff and research. But sometimes they take a risk in traveling along that route. And most of the buses travel in the night. And something can happen. So if the government look at it, I think it will open up business from local business and international business. So I think the government is doing the right thing for inaugurating today's bridge. I think a lot of things will become.
Et on a justement eu dans les premiers propos du côté de la Cross River, cet ouvrage situé pratiquement sur la nationale numéro 6 dans la région du sud-ouest, département de la Magno, arrondissement de Yumo-Djok, localité des Coques côté Cameroun, et dans l'état de Cross River, justement pour ce qui est de l'état du Nigeria. Et c'est un ouvrage qui va faciliter, comme on l'a dit, on ne le dira jamais assez, le transport sur le corridor Bamenda-Manfé, Kokfoum, Abakaliki et Enugu. Vous avez vu les images tout à l'heure, tout a été complètement réaménagé et tous les propos tenus du côté de cette Cross River Bridge, c'est de saluer cette avancée dans les relations entre le Cameroun et le Nigeria, un moment donc important de l'histoire qui arrive justement avec la célébration du renouveau, les 40 ans du renouveau du président Paul Biya, qui se trouve bien représenté sur le terrain par le ministre des Travaux publics, Eric Jatembe.
Yes, that is Nganu Jumesi Emmanuel has been very busy this time around. This is a very giant project that will certainly transform both countries, because if we have to transform Africa from a raw material supplier to a finished good and extract profit from those goods, I think we need to break the borders. And it's equally going to facilitate trade very much, because Cameroon. We were having a discussion with some friends of the Chamber of Commerce, and you know that Cameroon, honestly speaking, the trade volume between Cameroon and Nigeria is very much more than any other country, more than Cameroon and France, more than Cameroon and China, more than Cameroon and the United States.
There are many things to propose.
Good. You see, and that is a large market, but because I was going through some world population statistics recently, Nigeria has the 8th world largest population in the world. After Brazil, it's Nigeria, okay? And that is a vast market, about 212 to 13 million inhabitants, because Brazil is counting 217 million, occupying the second 7th position. So that is a big market that we need to take advantage of.
How can we materialize it? Cameroon and Nigeria, we have a bridge now. How can the two countries materialize it?
You see, there is this is the stakeholders in that chain. The African Development Bank, the World Bank, the government of Nigeria, that of Cameroon. You see, it's a joint venture, and in joint venture, it's a win-win. How are we going to do that? Are we going to break the boundaries? How are we going to make money from the borders? So it is a matter of the protocol that we will have. Because we don't have much detail yet on how it's going to be profitable. But however, the fact that we are crossing with goods, exchange, the volume of exchange between Cameroon and Nigeria, it's going to be profitable. Because once we need to do business, we need a level ground to transport. Transportation is very important in business. Once those things are there, well, it gives a positive leeway for business to flow, for both countries to make enough money, and for the citizens, to live a good life.
Ok, je rappelle donc que Canal 2 International est l'unique chaîne en exclusivité à vous retransmettre cet événement majeur depuis ce matin, depuis pratiquement 10h30, où on a vu la mobilisation des délégations sur le terrain. On dit merci à toute l'équipe technique qui est mobilisée. Vous savez que la connexion n'est pas du tout évidente. C'est pour ça que vous avez quelques petits soucis chez vous pour le retour avec des images qui nous proviennent de la Cross River. On s'en excuse d'ailleurs. Toutes les équipes travaillent d'arrache-pied pour vous permettre de ne pas manquer une minute de cette histoire, parce que c'est important, surtout en ce moment où le Cameroun a besoin de véritablement être compétitive à l'échelle internationale, et cela passe par une coopération franche entre les États de la sous-région. Ismaël, we are seeing the ceremony now going on, and quand on regarde la prise de parole des uns et des autres, on sent derrière une fierté, un ouf de soulagement de ces populations-là qui se disent enfin, on peut exploiter ce qu'on a de plus beau chez nous pour ne plus dépendre complètement de l'extérieur.
Exactly. You can see the population there very happy because it's going to create more employment for them. Are you getting me? So, and you can see also that there's hope that look very soon we are going to enjoy this achievement. As I've been talking since morning, how are we going to exploit this opportunity? For me, I believe that the two countries are doing good for their populations.
Il faut plusieurs conventions qui doivent être signées entre les deux États pour faciliter justement le transport des personnes et des biens.
Exactly. I told you earlier that Nigeria missions here organize Nigeria Cameroun Trade, Tourism and Cultural Week. The reason of that forum is just to see, identify the opportunities of both countries, the bottlenecks, the challenges. What are the challenges of doing business together? Are you getting it? Because sometimes you need to know all these things. If you want to register a company in Cameroon, what takes? If you want to register in Nigeria, what takes? And after the second edition, the committee look at it and look, we can form what they call a Nigeria Cameroon Business Commission, where the Chamber of Commerce, both countries will be involved, and other potential businessmen will be involved. And look, this is a great opportunity for the two countries. What can we do? How can we work together to make sure that the two people work together in a win-win relationship? And I believe the missions here, Nigeria High Commission, collaboration with the Consul General in Douala and Boya, they are really working, because we are working towards the third edition by the beginning of next year. So what we just need that we need the support of both the private and the public sector to utilize this opportunity to learn more about the opportunity in both countries. Because I always tell people that, look, Cameroon is a big country in terms of business, in terms of culture, in terms of tourism, and in terms of also peaceful atmosphere, where you can come sleep with your two high school without no problem. But we need to do some certain things amongst ourselves. We have our own faults, but gradually we try to sensitize them to say, look, this is the right thing you must do, the right thing you must do. But the government also have to give us a very conducive environment. Because if you want to do business in other countries, you must consider 2 or 3 things. Infrastructure, which is very, very vital. Modern infrastructure, roads, light, water. Then you look at the conducive environment. That's why I say that I'm pleading to the both parties that they should allow peace to reign in northwest and southwest region, because Cameroon, for me, I'm proud of Cameroon. I love Cameroon because of the peace that we're enjoying as a foreigner.
And I hope that you will find a wife here to confess. No, he was not.
No. Fortunately, I'm married to a very beautiful wife from the Benin Republic. I'm not a tribalist somebody. I can marry from anywhere.
That's good. Good
so
integration.
if God said that I've married 2 or 3 wives, why not? I can marry Cameroonians. There's nothing wrong. Let me tell you, Cameroonian ladies are the most beautiful ladies.
Thank
to
you.
Take care of a man.
C'était une parenthèse. Merci Ismaël. Alors Eric et Jean Atembe, il faut dire que justement à l'inauguration de ce pont frontalier entre le Cameroun et le Nigeria, ça intervient après des aménagements socio-économiques de base. Notamment au Cameroun, on a le bitumage de 5 km de voirie dans la ville d'Ekok, la construction et l'équipement des logements du personnel d'astreinte du poste de contrôle unique frontalier de Foum, la réhabilitation du centre de santé d'Ekok, la réhabilitation et l'équipement de 8 salles de classe avec clôture et latrine à Ekok, la construction d'une gare routière avec hangar de marché à Ekok et la construction de 2 magasins de stockage, entre autres. Ça veut dire que cette coopération était déjà en marche.
Yes.
Bénéfique pour les populations au regard des aménagements sociaux, économiques.
Those are the things that go with, construction or road infrastructure, because development have to follow. You just mentioned about health, hygiene, school,
yes,
motor park, warehouse for storage of goods, so that these goods should not be either stolen or they should not be damaged, which is a good thing, because that is a bother, and each and everybody, it's just a rest point. It's just a rest point. You can get there the time that you have to rest. I think there should be maybe brothels, inns, hotels, both ways around, so that you might get there, stock, you might the time there you might have a rest, and so on and so forth. Because the essential thing is these cross-border roads are equally out to promote trade. That is the most important thing.
Yes.
To promote trade and then to alleviate poverty. To alleviate poverty.
Because people are suffering.
Yes, because people are suffering. Now, for those of us who've known that road, Kumba Mamfe, Bamenda, Kumba Mamfe, Ekok, Nigeria, Abakaliki, if you tell you the very sad ordeal going through Kumba Mamfe, in those good days, it was hell. But now everything is okay. Look at the flyover Bakwa Super. It used to, I think it's about 11, about 7 kilometers. 7 kilometers. Imagine the days when people were winding through the Bakwa Super to go to Mafe. And the risk people were using or taking at that time or running through, it would tell you that, well, it is always important because poverty is actually going to be alleviated as such. We could have fast goods that might cross both countries, very quickly without necessarily passing maybe through the waters, because we have the maritime ways that is going equally to Nigeria, and people leave Douala to Nigeria by road.
Yes,
it's very easy for people to travel from Nigeria from Douala to Nigeria by road. So it is part of the Trans-African Road Project network. You have the 9 of them, but 9 of them from Algeria, that is to say from Algiers to Lagos. And now we are getting the one from Enugu to Bamenda, which is Enugu, Mamfe, Bamenda. And you have others like N'Djamena, Djibouti, because they have to connect Africa, which is a very good thing.
Okay, Ismail, it's not a political action too here because we have presidential elections coming on. In Cameroon, we have many things coming.
Yeah.
And a river like this can be political.
No, I want to say that no. Let us not politicize it, or let us not look at it as if it has a political connotation. Quoi?
On est dans un environnement, il faut bien comprendre si ça a des enjeux politiques, économiques.
Moi, je dis, ça n'a pas d'enjeu politique, c'est mon regard. Parce que c'est la politique du développement de l'Afrique en général. Puisque, il faut connecter les routes. On le sait très bien parce que Pas d'enjeu politique, pas de connotation politique, c'est un regard, mais plus de l'économie, de la facilitation, n'est-ce pas, de
l'amélioration des conditions des personnes et des liens. OK, Ismaël.
No, I didn't agree with you that it's politically motivated. But
if I ask you a question, it's very important to make them understand.
But some people, some leaders can use it for political gains. You are correct. They can just they will say, you see, we have already facilitated.
Why I say that?
They will pick votes from Manfi. They can pick votes from Manfi. Say, okay, you have connected to Nigeria. Then at any good the local government election.
Why I say that it's not political motivated at this particular time. Firstly, Nigeria, we don't have a diaspora vote. So our vote in diaspora has not counted yet. And that's one of the things we are clamoring for. I don't mean that diaspora can vote. Believe me, Cameroun will be mecca to all these politicians. You guys will make money, Canada will make money, you make money because no politician will come to Cameroun without visiting Canada. Of course, are you getting it? For more communication. Come on. Yes, so, but I think at the next election, the government that will take power will look into it and see that, look, we're sending money to Nigeria, how many billions of dollars?
That's yes, the remittance.
And why can't we, play our voice to the democracy back of Nigeria now very soon. So it's not, let us put political aside. It's just the right time. God's time is the best, and it's, what they are doing is for the benefit of everybody, either political or not political. We appreciate what they are doing.
Ismaël, you have to listen to on va suivre les discours en ce moment du côté de la Cross River Belt.
Here to strengthen the friendship between the people of Cameroon and the people of Nigeria, and say it shortly that the people between West and Central Africa. Your Excellencies, please permit me to convey our profound gratitude to the African Development Bank, the Republic of Cameroon, and also the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The John Board Post is for now equipped with all required furniture, as we said, at the international standards. Equipment for computers, a web bridge, and security scanners are currently ongoing and expected to be fully installed in February 2023, next year. Board officials will be trained in the use of this equipment. We show the efficient operation of the joint border post. A joint management committee board officers from both countries are already been established to coordinate the activities of border officers at the site. This committee's work will be governed by a bilateral agreement and a manual procedure detailing the operation of the border agencies, the joint border post. This operational phase, the Ministry of Transportations of both countries will serve as the co-focal points for the implementation of the bilateral agreement and also the other document, the manual of procedures. The customs administration from both countries will co-chair the Joint Border Post Committee, which will be responsible for the day-to-day operations and management. Your Excellencies, please permit me to request the two countries to take all ownership of this facility and ensure its proper upkeep. The edifice of this magnitude requires naturally maintenance arrangement to ensure that the facility does not deteriorate after a very short time. We call on the two countries to make adequate budgetary provisions annually for the maintenance of the facilities until both countries agree on other modalities for the sustainable maintenance of the said facilities. We also wish to request border control officials we will be operating on this facility to have a positive mindset as change and strive to make the facility work effectively. I urge you to abandon the inefficient way to conducting border procedure and to adhere to the new operational manual of procedure. I would like to beg the continued commitment to technically support the full operationalization of this beautiful infrastructure. Our appreciation goes to all stakeholders which participate. Don't forget the contractor and also the Airquads project team. All the stakeholders participated to the construction of that infrastructure. Let me conclude this statement by thanking you for your commitment throughout the process and for your presence here today. We also thank your excellencies, the government and people of Federal Republic of Nigeria et la République du Cameroun for making this occasion a success. Je vous remercie de l'opportunité que vous me donnez. Long life to ECOWAS, long life to ECAS, and also Federal Republic of Nigeria and Republic of Cameroon. Maintenant, it's now my singular honor to present to His Excellencies of the two countries a symbolic key, the ECOC from John Border Post, as a sign of the official handover of the facility to both countries and gift to the president also. So it will be the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the President of the Republic of Cameroon, you are please respectfully requested to for them, please. Thank you. It's a symbolic key of the joint border the Commissioner for Infrastructure, Energy and Digitalization of the.
Alors, c'était donc là la cérémonie de remise de cette clé aux autorités, notamment par le gouverneur de la Cross River, aux deux représentants des différents pays, le Cameroun et le Nigeria. Vous voyez donc le ministre Nganou Djoumessi avec cette magnifique clé de la ville pour faciliter enfin la circulation des personnes et des biens. Very symbolical, Eric Jatembe.
Yes, it's very symbolic and it is a memorable one which will always stay in the minds of Cameroonians. When you got the words from the official who was presenting the structure, because he says that there must be there will be a bilateral agreement.
Yes.
To set up a joint committee to manage, joint border committee to manage that bridge. Because normally those facilities will certainly wear out sometime. After that, they need to, put in money to rehabilitate those facilities,
to protect
it, and so on. And this thing will be done by both countries and through a bilateral agreement. So you cannot have such a jewel, like they were saying, it's a very good jewel, precious jewel, and you don't protect it, or you just allow it to wear out like that. Eventually, there will be time for, for the benefits, the spoils from such a venture. It is a joint venture, so both countries will actually make good business. Good trade will be flowing across that bridge.
Alors Ismaël, c'est une image forte qu'on vit à l'instant. Emmanuel Nganou Djoumessi, le ministre des Travaux publics, qui reçoit cette clé aux yeux du monde entier. C'est à célébrer. C'est une victoire, c'est une victoire.
In fact, the image we just watched now during the presentation of the key of the bridge to the minister here is a very, very historical one and it's going to, be memorable one. Today's 3rd of November.
Il rentre dans l'histoire.
3rd of November is now a day, one of the historian days. So I believe that it's a very welcome development, and I thank God that we all witness it, because we have a struggle to make the road, the project realistic. And today, before the world, because I know by the next few minutes now, it will be flying online everywhere that Cameroun and Nigeria have done something extraordinary.
Thank you, Ismaël. Puisqu'on est en plein dans la cérémonie, il y a justement cet événement qu'on va suivre. Hein, c'est l'heure des discours et c'est important de les suivre. À tout de suite.
States of civil and service Cameroun are particularly grateful to God and happy for the donor agencies, African Development Bank, the EU, the ECAS, and ECOWAS, for all the efforts. There is a practical pointer to the reliability of this project. The building of this project today clearly points out to the efficiency of the consulting firms and the contracting firms that were put together by these two countries. We are, after all these hours that this project has been loaded for the past 4 or 5 hours, and there is need
Certainement quelques soucis de connexion avec la Cross River, mais toutes nos équipes, ne vous inquiétez pas, sont mobilisées pour vous permettre de vivre ce moment particulier, inédit, exclusif même sur Canal International, l'inauguration de ce pont frontalier entre le Cameroun et le Nigeria. Vous avez regardé de magnifiques images tout à l'heure du ministre des Travaux publics qui recevait solennellement la clé de ce bridge pour permettre finalement de lancer, de rendre opérationnel cette passerelle. Eric Jean Atembe, dans tous les discours, dans toutes les interventions depuis le début jusqu'à présent, on sent dans la voix le choix des mots, l'espoir.
Yes. The choice of words, talking about hope, talking about trade, talking about business, facilities, bilateral agreement. You see, Cameroun and Nigeria share a very long history. Which we don't need to remind people again. And those Cameroonians, west of the Mungo, who had very strong attachment with the Nigerians. In the days of the British Southern Cameroons, and now, with the evolution of things, Cameroon now and Nigeria have gone a long way, or come a long way in business. I think it will still grow because there are other corridors that they need to open. They need to open.
Eric, on va voir avec Henri Tatoche, est-ce que c'est possible d'avoir cet élément sur un autre discours?
To open up other corridors. And now, the benefits of this particular road network, which this corridor, is we don't need to overemphasize because we already know the benefits that will come in. Now we have the Douala Bangui Jamina corridor. So once all these corridors are opened up, you can imagine the good things that will come or that will follow. And in as much as this particular bridge has brought some good tidings to the families around, or to the people around there. Imagine having a befitting school for the children to study. It is something commendable. You have a good health facility. that could be a stop point. You might have a malaise, you might develop an illness, they will just carry you there. And I want to think that the doctors or the medical personnel that will work there will certainly be of standard. And it's a good motor park. I think it's you know the motor park in Manfi, for example. I know the motor park in Manfi. I'm a child from Manfi, born there, and families there in Nigeria, so we know. But then the park that will be there at Bujok, okay, rather at the Cock,
yes,
it's a good thing. The medical facility, the environment will be kept, okay, and then the warehouse to stock goods. Because people need to stock their goods. Sometimes goods will be stocked there, some will be transferred over across from there to this way. Okay, so to help those business people, those traders, not find difficulties in transporting their goods, in handling their goods, and other activities too will crop up. Other businesses, there, when an industry is set up somewhere, just take that case, you see smaller businesses come up. Auxiliary advantages cropping.
Tout à fait. Alors, Ismaël, justement, on a vu que le Cameroun et le Nigeria sont appelés à marcher ensemble parce qu'il y a pratiquement 3 semaines, le Cameroun et le Nigeria voulaient rejoindre l'initiative Cacao Côte d'Ivoire Ghana. Vous avez certainement suivi cette actualité et aujourd'hui, on parle de ce mariage entre le Cameroun et le Nigeria avec ce pont-là, finalement. Very ambitious. Les deux pays sont véritablement...
Very, very ambitious. It's really sure that anything that's good for Cameroun is good for Nigeria. So the agreement is that we are brothers, we are not neighbors. We should not allow that artificial boundary to separate us. So we are always brothers, and it's not that we disagree than agree. Nigeria and Cameroon will always stay together, no matter how the struggle. So it's a very good development, and I believe that after today's event, many outstanding things will now coming up in a positive manner, because Nigerians and Cameroonians are yearning for better change for the two governments.
Et maintenant, avec cette route-là, on a parlé beaucoup de trafic de bois, de circulation de bois pour les deux pays, avec un projet comme celui-ci, ce sera désormais évident parce que avant, avec l'environnement.
As I told you earlier that Cameroon is blessed with a lot of things. In Nigeria, we use Cameroon woods. Because Cameroon have one of the best woods in the world. I get this country platform, Whenever I have a visitor from Nigeria and he sees the kind of fabrication made by local wood, it's important. I said, no, it's not importation, it's from this Cameroon. So I think by now, with this development, I'm telling you, you will see a lot of business flowing from that access to Nigeria, because most Nigerians now say, look, I don't need to go to France or to go to...
Que c'est beau, puisqu'on regarde...
You can see it's very beautiful, solid.
C'est vraiment magnifique.
Very beautiful.
Et ça permet la fluidité, véritablement, des personnes.
It's that we have been here for many times, we know it. So, and what my brother was saying is very pertinent, because around that place is going to open up a lot of businesses.
Oui,
sometimes you can arrive a cock maybe in the night, and you don't want to travel by night. I get it because of the insecurity. So let me look for a nearest hotel that I can feel at home. I shower, I refresh, and I go back. I commence my travel.
Alors, vous permettez, on prend le discours de Emmanuel Ngano-Dioumessi, le ministre des Travaux publics.
Housing of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, God Victor Ari, Minister in charge of special duties at the Presidency of the Republic of Cameroon, Your Excellency Armand Jordan, Secretary of State at the Ministry of Public Works in charge of roads, Your Excellency, the High Commissioner of the Republic of Cameroon to the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
On va certainement retrouver le ministre Ngano-Dioumessi dans quelques instants seulement. C'était le temps de remercier les différentes personnalités qui sont déplacées pour participer à cette inauguration. On aura une connexion parfaite puisque toutes les équipes sont mobilisées. Ne vous inquiétez pas, Canal 2 International, la dernière génération en matière de haute technologie, de haute définition. Donc on va retourner dans le Cross Beach tout à l'heure pour suivre véritablement les mots et les phrases choisies par le ministre des Travaux publics, envoyé spécial du chef de l'État, Paul Biya, de ce côté-là, pour vivre ce moment particulier. En attendant que les équipes nous ramènent sur le Cross Beach, Enrique Jean Atembe, retrouver le ministre des Travaux publics sur les lieux, envoyé spécial du chef de l'État avec toute sa délégation, la délégation camerounaise partie de Bamungum pour ce Cross Beach-là. C'est un coup d'opération de charme menée par le Cameroun.
Yes. I don't know, did they go by road or they went by air?
By air.
By air.
Oui, à partir de l'aéroport de Bamungum.
Okay, yeah.
Ce matin,
well,
oui.
of course, it is important. At least the Bamungum airport is one of the airport that connects, part of Cameroun to the west, and
yes.
From there you can take off to
Il
any
y avait la
direction.
délégation qui quittait de là pour
That's true.
justement.
That's correct. Of course, avoiding some of the risk
Okay.
with the security situation, which is probably going to be arrested soon. But I think it is important to know that Cameroun actually, in fact, the Cameroun had assistance from the European Union and the African Development Bank, like we were seeing, about 21 billion francs CFA. That is not small money, not to invest in such a project. And it's rather unfortunate we could not get, because of technical reasons, connections between, the headset connection between Enugu and Canal International, because we are working there with them. But then I think we will get the update of what Minister Ngamin Jumesi is saying. But it's a powerful delegation that Cameroon is leading, because even when Cameroon was, when we had settled our differences, over Bakassi, you saw the joy, from both sides, It's just like Lee and I were quarreling about I don't know what, and then suddenly now we settled that. But it is important because we're talking about bridging the gap. In diplomacy, bridging the gap in international trade, bridging the gap in business. Because this particular road will go right down to connect Lagos to Mombasa. So it's an important thing. And if we could not only stay there, just like I was saying earlier on, if the road is now from, Enugu, Abakaliki, Nugu, Mamfe, Bamenda, it should now be Bamenda, Douala.
Yes.
I think we'll have a complete circle where people will come into. Imagine that you drive very fluently. By the time you get to Nigeria, okay, the road is good from Nigeria, or from a Kok right down to Kumba, or from a Kok to from Mamfe to Bamenda. But by the time you leave Bamenda now to Douala, Bamenda, Buddha maybe Chang or Bafusam, and then to Douala, it's something else.
D'accord. Il faut dire que c'est une date qui va rester dans les mémoires pour notre pays.
November 3.
Oui, justement, le 3 novembre, mais pour Canal 2 International, qui, je le rappelle, est la seule chaîne à se déployer jusqu'au bridge pour permettre aux téléspectateurs de vivre ces moments. C'est vrai que la connexion n'est pas du tout évidente, mais toujours est-il, l'essentiel est là. On a eu les images de ce pont frontalier. On a eu quelques bribes d'images concernant l'ambiance sur le pont. On a eu les premiers mots des officiels du Nigeria. On a eu le ministre Nganou Djoumessi qui est toujours en air pour son discours. On aura certainement la quintessence tout à l'heure. Avec vous, Ismaël, je voudrais m'attarder sur ce poste frontalier qui est annoncé au niveau de front. C'est véritablement important que les populations puissent comprendre que quand il y a un joyau et quand il y a un pont comme celui-là, il faut respecter les formalités d'usage.
Yes, of course. You must respect the rules led by the two governments. I know that with the support of Canal, I want to appreciate what Canal International is doing, because you are the source of our information. So, and not just to cover the direct event of today, it should be continual information given about this bridge.
Okay. And
I believe through your platform, our people will be sensitized. And also in the area, in a part of the government also, they also have their own role to play to make that you go in the normal way. And I believe nobody will want to say no with any better deliberations to make sure that the reason why this bridge is being created is for the facilitation of cross-border trade.
But les usagers they have to accept to be controlled. It's very important because quand il y a un pont comme celui-là, on se dit qu'on est dans la zone de libre circulation des personnes et des biens, mais il y a des réticences.
I made mention earlier that Cameroun is good in security. I get me. In terms of security, they are good. Cameroun cannot allow anybody to enter their territory without proper control. But what I'm saying is that some police people, kidnap people, now using it as a means of making money.
They harass.
I'm telling you the truth.
I think
we go to that area often and often. I'm telling you, if I call one or two Nigerians, come and tell you what they have accounted. Okay, imagine going to Edina from Limbe. After Limbe, there's from Limbe to, before you reach Edina, there's a toll gate. At that toll gate, I'm telling you, not that I'm just trying imagination, no, it happened to me, but because I know my rights. I know my right. I'm not in a hurry. When you ask me, I will answer you with all respect. Then they will now collect you will get them from the car. After you trek to their office, then, okay, Nigeria, they will collect your card. You enter. Cameroon, you go. I will ask them, why do you collect my residence permit? Am I not have a valid document? He said, no. Are you new? Are you new? I said, what do you mean by are you new? You have to I said, what? It means that you give them money. But I said, I cannot give you money. I've called the intervention of my consulate in Boya, because Boya covers those areas. And they had to look, give us, if I say new communicate towards this thing, we know, we tell our people, they didn't see anything. Are you getting me? So if all those things is being controlled, I believe our own people, especially Nigerians, I can talk about Nigerians, we respect the law given by the host countries.
Lil, I think what Ismail is saying is very important, very critical, because we've worked a lot, close to 2 decades with the Nigerian diplomatic mission here, and sometimes, when they were sensitized from the days of Gordon Harry Bristol, may so rest in peace, and right up to the others. But you see, it is a critical thing that our two governments have seen into that, this issue of harassment, and especially of foreign nationals in general, and especially those who are coming from the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because they have put these things on the table, they have discussed them. There are some, should I put it, unethical police officers, some, yes, but once there's a control, I think if the documents are right, the papers are correct, maybe you don't have any problem, knowing that, like we were talking about, living like we are brothers, not even neighbors. Because of the artificial boundaries that have been put there to separate us. But if that happens, that persistent harassment, it's going to frustrate trade between us and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Look at what, for example, the crisis caused to business along that area. Trade volume actually dropped in 2015 to 2019.
Exactly.
Au niveau des exportations, moins de 68%, et pour les importations, moins de 85%.
Correct. Exactly. How much? About 20 billion that has been lost. I mean, blown into oblivion as a result of
drastic.
So I think in terms security is important, control is important, but harassment should not be the order of the day. If you are not in conformity, you not say, oh, hey, come here. No. I mean, even diplomatically, it doesn't speak.
Could you imagine the funniest thing that a police officer will be asking you your visa for a first timer coming to Cameroon?
Quand on a reçu des...
I saw you look, Nigeria, Cameroun. that. But here they say the visa that
C'est pour ça que lors du forum économique ici, on disait justement que si les pays africains se développent véritablement, on n'aura plus besoin de demander
I'm telling you,
Y.
so that I appreciate our Nigerian mission here, the High Commission, with that initiative Nigeria, Cameroun, trade, tourism and cultural goods. All those things is inclusive that, look, we need to address all these issues for the benefit of our citizens. So I think we are very happy.
C'est pour ça justement qu'il y a des émissaires qui font des déplacements entre le Nigeria et le Cameroun pour pouvoir échanger parfois avec les différents chefs d'État pour trouver des voies et moyens, comme on a l'habitude de le dire, pour résoudre les problèmes qui interviennent dans les deux pays, pour mettre en mal les populations. Mais toujours est-il que lorsqu'on a un événement pareil, on a un pont frontalier, il faut saluer ces initiatives des deux chefs d'État pour l'amélioration des relations entre le Cameroun et le Nigeria. On a eu des moments de secousses avec Bakassi.
I want to throw it to Canal International as I want to just throw it to them that look, they should look at it. Many Cameroonians know that we have a lot of Cameroonians living in Nigeria.
Of course.
No, excuse me. Allow me to say something. Because that alone is giving us a problem as a Nigerian here in Cameroon. Because they say, vous venez ici pour nous, you came here to come and just take our money and go away. I said, my brother, have you been to Lagos? Have you been to Abuja? Have you been to, in Abuja, one of the best
D'accord, wait, on suit le ministre Nganou Diomaye, on reviendra pour la suite.
Sized is announced by His Excellency, the Head of State, Paul Biya. Besides, I renew on his behalf the gratitude of the government of the Cameroon people towards the technical and financial partners who assist the state of Cameroon in its development efforts. I am appealing to the beneficiary population, economic operators, and various investors to take full route of quoted above for flourishing their business activities. Le Cameroun, dans sa main, vers un nouveau pays industrialisé, aménage ses principes. Dans le cadre du programme politique d'un nombre de gouvernements, monsieur suit la concrétisation. Certes, reste à faire, mais son détermination aujourd'hui. C'est la sur le Nigeria et ce sera encore celui sur le fleuve interne entre Campo au Cameroun en Guinée équatoriale. Je voudrais finir en formant le vœu que nous inaugurons aujourd'hui servent d'impulsion à l'expansion de nos activités économiques. Ce, au nom de Monsieur le Président de la République, geste symbolique tout à l'heure, je voudrais déclarer la sur le point sur la cross river. Le ministre de l'Economic Community African State, the Economic Community of West African States, non-leave Cameroun and Nigeria Cooperation, non-leave Cooperation, non-leave Cameroun African Development Bank Cooperation, non-leave Cameroun European Union Cooperation, non-leave Nigeria and Cameroon and their illustrious Excellency Paul and Biari. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Merci beaucoup.
Merci pour ce discours du ministre des Travaux publics Emmanuel Nganou Diomaye. Toutes nos excuses pour la qualité sonore de cet élément. Vous savez qu'on travaille d'arrache-pied pour vous permettre de vivre ce moment, mais la quintessence du message est très claire. cette main tendue aux opérateurs économiques pour fluidifier, intensifier cette coopération entre le Cameroun et le Nigeria. Cet appel aux opérateurs économiques d'emprunter cette marche vers l'industrialisation et pourquoi pas permettre à ces deux pays d'être véritablement des pays émergents. Enrique Jatambe.
Yes, take advantage of this bridge. It is for the business community to take advantage of it, as the Minister of Public Works, Nganu Jumesi, mentioned. And the advantage is that it is linking two brotherly nations, because we say two brotherly nations. And the unique border control is obvious. They have to be controlled because it's not because we say we have open borders or we should break the boundaries or the borders that we might smuggle things into a country. It is not because we say the borders are open that we should bring in contraband goods. No, those things should be checked, and it is for the advantage of both countries. Checking those things is for the advantage of both countries. Remember what was established during the Green Tree Agreement.
Yes, les accords de Green Tree.
That is the peaceful coexistence, the harmonious living together between the two countries. Mm-hmm. I think this is just part of, it's coming on the heels of such, relationship that has been, twin to make sure that both Cameroon and Nigeria move forward. They should forge ahead in terms of business.
Alors, Ismaël, le ministre reconnaît que beaucoup reste encore à faire. C'est un progrès, c'est un evolution, mais il faut véritablement une impulsion des actions économiques dans les deux pays.
Yes, Lynn. The inauguration of this bridge today, for me, is to normalize and bring closer two brotherly countries. I get to be in the wake of the Green Tree Agreement signed by the 54 countries of Africa, and which is now that Cameroon is using that the opportunity to put in place the modern infrastructure that will facilitate trade between the two countries. So we are all very happy about today's event. And the November 3rd is going to be a very memorable day in all everybody's life. So I believe that one of it is still going to come. Because Nigeria and Cameroon, we cannot do without ourselves. We need each other. Okay. We need each other because we are giant of Africa, not by maybe economic alone, because of our population. We are also giant of Africa because our neighbors that surround us also make us giant of Africa. Because I remember during the Bakassi Biafra War, the role the Cameroon played really made Nigeria to be still united to today. So that role Cameroon play make Nigeria to be giant of Africa today. So for me, your neighbors is important.
D'accord. So, alors Enrique Jatambe, on dirait que cette main tendue justement du ministre Nganu Jumesi a été écoutée aux opérateurs économiques de bénéficier des avantages entre les deux pays. Vous avez une délégation des femmes qui se trouve actuellement au Nigeria, une commission féminine du JICAM, bien représentée au Wimbiz à Lagos, conduite par Mireille Fomekon, la présidente de la commission féminine du JICAM. On comprend donc qu'il y a une densité, justement, j'y arrive, d'une coopération entre les deux pays.
Very correct. It is not a surprise that Mireille Fomekon is there from the feminine arm of the industrial cartel, or JICAM, which already tells, in fact, it's a message to the rest of the business community or the rest of the business people that they should take advantage of it. And that is why they had to travel or move along with the Minister of Public Works for that event, to let the world know that Cameroon, or to let the other counterparts know that Cameroon is ready for business with the Federal Republic of Nigeria as always before.
D'accord. C'est donc la fin de ce programme spécial sur Canal International consacré donc à l'inauguration du pont sur la Cross River entre les deux pays, le Cameroun et le Nigeria, sous haute instruction du chef de l'État Paul Biya, le ministre des Travaux publics Emmanuel Ngamnou-Djoumissi, avec une forte délégation. Il a d'ailleurs reçu, vous l'avez vu dans les images, la clé de l'ouverture officielle qui permettra donc finalement pour ce pont de servir de booster les échanges commerciaux qui ont chuté à cause de la crise dans les différents pays. Mais toujours est-il, le souhait aujourd'hui, c'est cette main tendue aux opérateurs économiques de profiter de ce pont frontalier qui a coûté près de 21 milliards de francs CFA. On reviendra surtout dans les éditions d'information sur Canal International pour vous permettre de suivre cette actualité. Et merci à toutes les équipes de Canal International mobilisées ici et sur le pont pour vous permettre de suivre en direct. Merci à la direction générale qui n'a pas lésiné sur les moyens pour marquer une fois de plus l'histoire, puisque Canal 2 est toujours au cœur des événements. Merci à Ismaël Adebola, journaliste nigérian, founder publisher de Naija Diaspora. Merci à Enrique Jean Atembe pour la suite de ce programme. Merci au docteur Dalvaris Ngunju qui était avec nous pour la première partie. Merci à toutes les équipes techniques mobilisées derrière la caméra pour vous permettre de vivre ce merveilleux moment. On vous revient, surtout moi, tout à l'heure dans le débrief de l'actualité, mais c'est le journal, le 13h avec Enrique Jean Atembe et Monique Naoussi Fossoir. Bonsoir.